Hey y'all, I'm off to WorldPride. WorldPride happens every 2 years, and this year it happens to be in Copenhagen, Denmark, and Malmo, Sweden. Both of these countries are divided by one really long bridge. I'm looking forward to seeing how these cities bridge the gap of inclusivity, acceptance, diversity. There is a human rights conference, there are protests and riots, there is a gender fluid festival, and I really hope to meet the Crown Princess of Denmark. I'm looking forward to meeting people that are visiting from all over the world to see what WorldPride means to them. It's time to get on a super long flight, and I'll see you in Copenhagen!
Ravi's Road to Pride! Ravi's Road to Pride!
Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, is known as the happiest city in the world. A city filled with glorious architecture, color palettes that look out of a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. A city made up with castles and canals. A city with the most boats I've seen in my life. A city with universal health care, where citizens get paid to go to college, where folks look after each other's neighbor. A city in a country with such a high vaccination rate, masks are no longer required. A city where the royal princess and government actively participate in pride. A city constantly yearning and learning to do better. A city where one can be queer without fear. This is WorldPride. Now it's time to find out what WorldPride means to some of the top leaders in the world.
What does WorldPride mean to you specifically?
When we are giving ourselves seats at the tables of society, not really about your city, only about your country, it's really about the world, because you understand how we're all similar.
Ultimately, Pride is about resistance, it's about action, it's about creating change, it's about celebrating our progress and recommitting ourselves to the work that remains. And so Pride isn't just about parades and parties, it's about policy, it's about social change, it's about doing the hard work of fighting for human rights. And so it would not be Pride, truly, without spaces like this where people come together to figure out how we can push for the change that our community still so desperately needs.
Bringing together folks of all backgrounds, over 53 nations of elected officials and refugees from even more, to talk about issues that matter to LGBTQ people globally, and we get to know each other so that we can work on issues together and help each other out.
WorldPride means to carry the responsibility of the entire global Pride movement for 2 years in creating an event that is truly inclusive.
WorldPride means to me an opportunity to get together with people from all over the world and to fight for equality in a global stage.
Pride is everyone's equal right to love and live freely.
When we celebrate Pride locally, we are there to celebrate as our core community. And we recognize these are our problems, these are the things we're trying to solve, and we work together. But then on a scale like this, we come to recognize other cultures and other communities that are either fighting the same things we're fighting for, or even things that we have no knowledge about.
When you host WorldPride, you also host a big international human rights conference and a human rights platform for debates and talks and for gatherings from all over the world. I like being here because it's small enough to try things out and big enough for it to have an impact.
Well, I think it's important because we have to be good allies, and when you're in privileged situations especially, both socioeconomically but also political power-wise, you have to show the support and do what you can.
There are people currently who are risking their life for being who they are. And that is why WorldPride is important to me, because it's not just a local phenomenon, it's something we see across the world, and we have to fight for the rights of everyone.
It means visibility.
And now I'm hitting the streets, and I'm gonna find out from other folks why WorldPride is so important to them.
You see the most beautiful men from the most beautiful places in the world. What a better way to celebrate Pride.
WorldPride is love, loving ourselves, loving our friends, loving our community, and coming together as one.
Freedom of sexual expression.
WorldPride is really about evolving and adding sort of more colors to the rainbow.
It's all about letting people be who you are and know that love is love.
Just finally be included in the world. I feel like I'm different all the time in my life, but finally I feel a part of it, and that's so magical.
WorldPride means there is a community for everyone who feels like they don't belong. this is our chance to come together and say, hey, I found my community, I found my place, I know I'm not alone.
It means the world.
Sometimes I just wonder if people think that I'm a tourist with my selfie stick, camera, book bag, an outfit that's, I think, on point. WorldPride is in Malmo and in Copenhagen, and today I'm going to Malmo. So I'm gonna navigate the subway train system. Wish me luck. I'm in Denmark, 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 I'm in Sweden. I think. I'm about to sit down with Gwyn Emberton from Malmö Pride to talk about all things Malmo.
Copenhagen and Malmo are part of what the Øresund region, so the the big bit of water that you travelled in on. So that's like they've created this kind of like space between the two countries, two cities. And so Pride obviously made sense to have that. So we kind of like lots of people work here, travel there, you know, so they've made it into like a economic and cultural region.
What does Malmo represent?
It's quite a small city, so there's about 350,000 people that live here. But it's got such a community feel, like a very close-knit community, which is really, really lovely. And especially having WorldPride here now, it feels like everyone's really come together to make it even more visible within the city and within Sweden and the rest of Scandinavia and the world, WorldPride.
When did gay rights become a movement here in Sweden?
1950.
1950, before the Stonewall riots.
Yeah.
Having WorldPride come to Malmo, it means an enormous amount. To be able to see what's going on the inside, to be able to see all the incredible work that everybody does. It's a small city. There isn't the definition of like an LGBTQ community here. There aren't the usual kind of gay bars, there isn't the usual queer scene, but in every place, you just feel included, you know? The bathrooms here, they're gender neutral. It's way ahead of the rest of the world.
I am with Ilin, and she's gonna take me around and see Malmo in 12 hours and do all of the Pride things. Let's go!
In the world that has happened because someone has become angry and fucking frustrated, and then they started doing something about it and gathered others, and others listened, and then change were happening.
Now it's time to hear from Steve Taylor, the Director of Communications for WorldPride.
There's 1,000 events over 2 cities.
What's the mission behind WorldPride?
We want to very much focus on the fact that whilst in countries like Denmark and Sweden, LGBTI equality is almost there, there's a lot further to go in the rest of the world. We don't have to look far from here in Poland and Hungary to see rights being rolled back. We've still got 70 countries in the world where LGBTI people are criminalised. Conversion therapy is still legal in all 3 countries in Scandinavia. So there's a lot of work still to do. The fight is not over in many parts of the world, and we all need to step up and take action.
Will I meet my next ex-husband here at WorldPride?
Your next ex-husband or your next sex-husband?
Renewed strength and energy to secure the universal fundamental right to be who we are. No matter who you are, or where you live, or who you love, love is never wrong.
I just spent the last 10 days in Copenhagen and in Malmo for WorldPride, and it was a total game changer. The diversity, the inclusion, the human rights element. There was a gender fluid festival where people that are non-binary, non-conforming, women, people could feel included. They had a saying here that was #YouAreIncluded, and everyone felt included. There was a children's pride area, there were bearded drag queens, there were hundreds and hundreds of events for whatever you were into. The party element, the protest element, the human rights conference element. I met politicians from all over the world, and the princess, the crown. I had a total blast. I mean, this is the culmination, this is the essence of what Pride is. Coming together around the world in a beautiful city. I mean, this is the big backdrop. What? If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a comment below, give me a little like and subscribe, and be sure to continue to follow my journey with Ravi's Road to Pride.
Ravi's Road to Pride. Ravi's Road to Pride.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just want to get the shot, and I want to get us in it, and like, I don't want my hand in there, so I have to get my stick out, because my assistant isn't doing his job!